Good evening, everyone. All right, let me move this microphone a little closer here so people can hear me. Tonight we have Chris Ceasar, local guy who I met through his journalism work a while ago, although I probably should have met him long before that, as we've been near enough to each other through all of the communities. We are about to go live as I finish eating my dinner because I'm hungry and that's just how it is. All right. And you can see us all now. Say hi, Chris.
What's up, everybody?
There he is. Yeah. Food showed up like a minute before Chris got on the video call, so like I'm about halfway through.
I always
We'll
show
be
up when
good.
the food comes, basically. Yeah.
You know, I love you, chat. I love that you all care too. Like this has been a great show so far. You know, and now it's over. That was it. That's all I needed. No. So Chris here has a podcast. Which is a huge upgrade from when I met him and he was working at Patch.com.
That's fair,
I mean,
yeah.
am I wrong? I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
No, I'm not going to correct you on that.
So you went from Patch to Boston.com to all kinds of other things. You've done just all kinds of like writing out there. What are you doing right now besides this awful podcast? Which is not this, but actually the name of your podcast.
Or is it? No.
Or is it?
No, not much. I guess I'm just cooped up like everybody else. We haven't really even been doing the podcast that much. It's been on hiatus just because, of the disease. But yeah, I guess just hanging out and gaining weight and eating and
I'd like to ask chat if they're going to put up with the excuse of someone who I find very funny saying that because there's a pandemic, he can't record audio. I just want to throw this out there that maybe that excuse needs a little work.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. We were concerned that if we weren't able to do it in person, we'd lose some of that podcast magic that I know everyone expects from a
People do expect magic when you come in the room.
Exactly. So I don't want to disappoint people. So instead of doing anything, we're just not going to do anything. It's much better.
So last time we got to hang out in person, I was calling our local mayoral race loser a Nazi to his face in front of like most of the prominent people of our city.
Yeah.
Which you all seem to think was funny. I thought it was like the thing you do. Like it was just normal. That was just my Wednesday. Like, you know.
It could be both. Yeah. Yeah, that guy really sucked. Huh?
Right?
I wonder what that guy. I haven't thought about like the moment he lost, he just emptied.
He was gone. He was over. The second the Nazi didn't make mayor, he was done.
Man, yeah. We should prank call him right now or something.
You know, we'll get phone calls set up for the next one. Maybe next week we'll set up a list of people to follow. Maybe we call some of the local fash and ask them what they want sent to their commissary when they're in prison. You know?
Yeah, that'd be a nice thing to do. A little prison support for them.
No, they ain't getting no prison support from me. No.
I didn't think so.
So your podcast is currently on hiatus. You aren't recording. Like I hadn't gone and looked at it in a little while, and I went back, and there were some episodes I hadn't seen, but that was like Christmas time, right?
Yeah, Mike found some lost episodes that I guess we thought wouldn't work previously, but now that we're being lazy, it sounded really good, and I would put them up. But yeah, no, this is like the most exciting thing I've done all year, Greg.
I mean, we're 18 days in. That's not that big of a compliment.
That's true.
I'm feeling it though. Thank you. Yeah, pre-tape crank calls. Nice. You know, I think I still have Gorka's phone number. That's not a bad idea. That guy is not just a haha
Like a
Nazi. He's a
Sebastian Gorka?
literal Nazi.
That would be fun. And he gets really mad when you screw with him too. That's the best
He
part.
does. He does. He does. I called him
He
once,
takes
like
it
2
super
years ago,
personally.
and he just. I was expecting a quick hang up, and instead he just started yelling obscenities into the phone, and I was like, oh well, okay, good to know. Good to know. Gonna save that one, back pocket.
That's what you want. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's all you can really hope for.
Hal Turner, like, the guy responds. Let's go.
Yeah, I wonder what he's up to these days. Like,
Probably, hoping for some kind of a pardon. He's gonna list off all the fun stuff for tomorrow, right?
that's true. Yeah, I could see that.
So let's talk about that one. So the news today is all about, and some yesterday, about the 100 pardons that are coming, or somewhere near that number, right? And I found it funny that people were so shocked at the number, because that number's really, really low. Just to think about it, Bill Clinton did 450 on his last day. Jimmy Carter did 534 on his last day. Like, this is normal. What's not normal is the way he's doing it and who he's giving them to. There's an office at the DOJ called the DOJ's pardon attorney. So there's actually an attorney there who's put in. So Barr put this one in, of course, because they're kind of appointed. So we already don't like this person, because if Barr chose them, probably not someone we're gonna agree with.
Little sus.
And so it's I think they're for the most part being sold. I think the joke about 2 million might be a little much. I don't think they're all $2 million. Some of these people are going to be pretty poor, but I wouldn't put it beyond someone like a Lil Wayne to come up with some cash for his pardon.
Definitely, yeah. Have they been? I heard about Lil Wayne, but that's the only one I know about so far. Has anyone
So
else?
we've heard about that one. Then we've heard so far that Julian Assange is not on the list yet, but it was suffixed by yet. So who knows if that happens. The one I'm still waiting to see, which won't, of course, make me like him any more than, well, dirt. But, would be Ross Ulbricht. I want to see that one happen, and there's no money in it for him if he does it, but that's the one I want to see. Ross got railroaded and needs to be let out.
Yeah, I was surprised that Trump was considering that.
Yeah, that one being on the table is really interesting, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that would be the only one I think of all of them that have been rumored so far that I'd be happy with. Look at that, Prime Gaming. Give me some of that Bezos money. Thank you, thank you. We need from Prime Gaming to a real sub. Look at this. Look at this. You're a real boy now. I love the Prime Gaming thing because it doesn't cost the people who are Amazon Prime people any more money. It just takes money out of Amazon's side of thing. So
Oh, okay.
so just give me Bezos's money now. Just go click that
I'm so
button.
Twitch illiterate, dude. I have no idea what's going on here, to be honest.
I was like months and months ago, and I'm starting to figure it out.
Okay.
Starting to. So yeah, so the pardons thing, the number's not any big deal. It's just I think he's going to give it to real criminals and not people who were, travesties of justice, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think you're right. I haven't heard anything more than any average number of presidential pardons in the past. Just a couple hundred. Obama did over 1,000 kind of low-level drug offenders, right?
For the last 3 weeks of his, he averaged 300 a day. He was just flying through these things.
Okay.
I think on his last day he did 330. Yeah, Reagan did 343. Even George H. Bush, in fact, he did the lowest. He did 75. He just really didn't like people.
Yeah, he really loves jail. That's all.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Oh, look at it. Yeah, flawless stream start. Let's go. I'm getting somewhat of the hang of this. So you'll notice that that he is disappearing and reappearing. It's This is what Zoom does. It's
Oh,
great.
the vape.
It is. It is. It is. Look at that gifted subs. I love you guys. I really do. You are an amazing chat. So Chris actually lives in the same little hometown as me. I mean, it's one of the larger towns in Massachusetts, but that's like comparing it to Boston, which people call a large city, and like it's the smallest of the large cities. So like, no.
Yeah, suburb with skyscrapers.
So you're here local with me, and we have a lot of the local organizing fash right around us. Chris here knows Mark Sahady really well. I believe they're good friends. No, no.
We were in Boy Scouts together.
Yeah. So he's right there with me on this fight against them. And by right there with me, I mean he didn't show up to my wife's event here in town.
That's right. Yeah.
Do
that right off. Yeah.
Yeah. It was cold. I mean, obviously, you're really settling into the pandemic, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah. It's gonna take a lot of force to farm at this point. In fairness, I had to work and it was on short notice. I was happy to see how many people showed up at least.
I was surprised that the people showed up. Like, I didn't think the mayor was going to be there, and then he walks up and is like, "Hey," and I'm like, "What's up, Gary?"
You're like best friends with him.
Well, other people like walk up to him and like, "Mayor Christensen." He just walks by and "Hey, what's up, Gary?" and everyone looks at me like that's disrespectful. And I'm like, "No, it's not." He smiles when I say it.
He likes it.
He likes to be treated like a normal person. We've got the weirdest fucking mayor, dude. Not in a bad way, just like I wasn't expecting like a mayor who at his last address that we got to go to had a Galaga machine next to the stage that was on free play for me to go play Galaga all day. Like, come on.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, right? And Miss Pac-Man right next to it. Like, who gets the mayor who puts freaking Galaga and Miss Pac-Man next to the stage for everyone to just play? And then
like a big arcade.
Then he walked up to the stage to the Zelda music, like, it's crazy. Hey everyone, am I still connected to the stream? So did that blip for everyone else? Or was that just on my end that we got that little blip?
It did blip for me too.
But we're back?
Oh, yeah, now we're back, yeah.
Okay, well, that was interesting. I got a nice little message on the screen that said reconnecting for no reason. Huh.
Get the F's going in the chat. That's nice. Very respectful.
Very, very, very respectful. No, my chat's amazing. These people are awesome. We have a Discord. You should join it. They would enjoy your humor. If someone wants to do the Discord thing in the chat, my keyboard's over there. So I don't know. The local fash. Are you gonna help us get rid of them?
Yeah.
I love it.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm not into that shit.
So what are we gonna do to these people if they don't end up in prison? like I want it on record. No.
I have some very stern words. I'll tell you that.
Build a wall.
Strongly worded emails.
Well, I mean, Sahady lives like less than a mile from me, and I'm hoping I get to hear the sirens, while at the same time I would like them to abolish prisons and defund the police. And I really am glad that cops aren't using their batons and their tear gas and everything else. Also, I would like to see him get hit with batons and tear gas and whatnot, so he can maybe feel what, we feel like, since they've done it to all of us.
It is a bit of a dilemma, isn't it?
It is. I'm conflicted on this one. Maybe just fascists. Maybe we could release most other people. Like, there's a few serial killers and rapists and whatnot. They need to stay in. But, like the non-violence, the minor drug offenses, all of them out, and just give all their beds to the fascists.
I'm on board, man.
Okay, well then let's go. So that's your new job. Report back. So today is MLK Day. And I thought, what better way to celebrate MLK Day than bring on this local white guy I know? I had a guest lined up, and Chris will tell you, I reached out to Chris hours ago asking if he could come on tonight. But that guest will be coming on next week. I didn't want to, say who until I've actually got them on video. But today was interesting. All over the internet, I'm watching people talk about how, Martin Luther King died. And they keep saying he died, and it was tragic that he died. And I keep just thinking, no, you're all horribly wrong. He was murdered. The U.S. government had to admit in court all the shit they did to him.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've been responding to some people who were just egregious about how sad it was that he kind of, passed away. I'm like, that's not passing away. Passing away is of old age. Our government murdered him. Come on, people.
Yeah, I couldn't say that for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. I would say that.
This is the journalist in you avoiding any hard statements without,
I mean, there's no doubt that the FBI was all over his ass and, tried to get him to kill himself and all that stuff. So
I mean, yeah, the attempts to get him to commit suicide forever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There were definitely no friends. Okay.
On MLK Day, this motherfucking government, this Trump regime, releases the 1776 Commission report. And in it, it says, criticism of the Founding Fathers' slave ownership has had a devastating effect on our civic unity. They released that on MLK Day.
That's really an interesting thing to say.
Wow.
What was the phrasing they used?
Criticism of the Founding Fathers' slave ownership has had a devastating effect on our civic unity.
Devastating effect. The criticism of it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because that's okay.
So they're implying that I should feel the need to unify and heal with people who think it's not okay to bring up the fact that our founding fathers owned slaves. That they'd like a little revision on the history here.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. That one feels a little off to me. I think maybe they could have released it tomorrow, and then we could be still just as mad at the statement, but it wouldn't have happened on MLK Day. What do you think of that statement, chat? What do you guys have about this? What the hell, right?
There's no way it wasn't on purpose, right?
No, one of the funnier things, though, about that is, they built this commission, all of, hard right-wing pieces of shit, basically. And one of the early proponents of this commission existing, and then actually supposed to be on it and helping to build the final report, was Charlie Kirk. You can even go, his old tweets he hasn't deleted yet. They're still there of him joining the commission, talking about it all. The report came out today, and everyone who was supposed to be on the commission's name is listed but his, and he's completely not part of it at all. So I'm wondering if he asked to not be named, or if they kicked him off for being too right-wing. Which...
to write a report that says,
yeah,
slave owners.
Those are the only two options I can come up with. What the hell?
Wow.
Oh, what a day.
I saw something about this park that Trump is trying to make that is apparently way bigger than even the Washington Mall. And it's just all these statues of American heroes. Did you hear about this?
I did, and I mean, heroes is a strong word for some of them.
Yes, yeah. it just seems like the most low key fash kind of public works project to have like a garden of statues to make. Like, so weird. And that they're
Yeah,
working on this now,
it's absolutely the craziest thing. I have Merlin DeFango, and in chat, I don't know if you saw it, Chris, but someone asked about that, and the answer is no. My family never did. In fact, my family was here long before this country existed as an actually established union, and they came over with Germans who settled in the Texas region and worked hand in hand with the local native communities before the Spanish came up, before America came down and kind of, took over. Some of them were in Houston's army, fighting for Texan independence still. And there's a little bit of problematic stuff in there, but nothing like them actually owning slaves, because they never actually had money. So I don't know that I can say that they wouldn't have, because I don't know, but they were never rich in the societies they were in. They were always laborers. So it's possible that one or two of them might have if they had had the opportunity. I just don't know. But I'm pretty positive at this point, because we had a couple history teachers in the family. One of them, I actually have her books that she used to teach class in the 1800s with. And they did a lot of work on the family history, trying to figure some of this stuff out. So I think I'm pretty safe in saying that, but I would be happy if anyone had any actual evidence of it being otherwise, so I could then denounce the living fuck out of it. But yeah, that's where we are on that one. Let's see here. So I'm guessing by the beanie you're wearing that you are a big New Radicals fan. that song, "You Get What You Give," was your jam when it was out.
I might have jammed out to that. That's a good track.
No, it's not. No. I mean, I get the thing where, like, Beau Biden was listening to that song while, in cancer treatment and all that, and it talks about, like, surviving and shit, but, like, it's just a bad song.
Oh, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, they've gotten the band back together after, like, 20 years or something of the New Radicals not being together, and they're gonna, like, live play that song for the Biden inauguration, because it was Beau Biden's, like, get through cancer treatment song. So, like, I understand, like, all the tears and all that stuff, and how that song is relevant to the family, but I just, it's hard to speak ill of the dead, but that was a really bad song. That was a really bad song. Like,
didn't they play, like, a Coldplay song that was also...
yeah, I mean, at least Chris Martin, like, at least he has some musical talent, like,
Oh, here we go.
Good times. Head fascist. Yeah, Merlin DeFango. Definitely put me down as head fascist, sure. Good times.
Is Merlin all right?
No. That person is broken the head. There's something wrong there.
Just, speaking as a concerned person.
So, how you doing otherwise? Come on, we haven't talked in forever.
Yeah,
What are you working on? You were at work and we were half an hour late starting the show to accommodate you. What were you doing? What is your job?
I'm a little afraid to say online.
Look at this guy. He's scared of us.
But kind of working on just doing some freelance, like, marketing writing. It's awful.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. You're writing that spinner syntax I keep reading. That really shitty SEO spinner syntax, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good times.
Yeah, it's just boring. I've gotten into watching a lot of movies recently. I'm sure that's
nice. We do a movie night on Sundays. One of the people in chat there, Budushin42, hosts us on Sunday. We all watched War Games and Real Genius together. I'm not sure, but I think next weekend we are all going to be watching Hackers and Sneakers. I think that's
Shit,
the play.
okay. Oh
Um,
yeah, that'd be fun actually.
yeah,
Hackers,
so
I haven't seen in a while.
I mean, how do you not watch that every single month? All right, so carry the chat for a second, because I got to respond to this. All right, yeah. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, so we sit there and do Sunday nights. So if you ever want to come watch all the movies and talk about them, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad on purpose. The last stream we ended with
Perfect.
Yahoo Serious playing a young Einstein, of course, because I mean, why not, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, other than it's a horrible movie, but like it's still funny as hell. All right. So, chat, what else do you want us to talk about? I mean, obviously, we have the fun stuff of Dominion Voting Systems has sent a letter to My Pillow CEO's Mike Lindold saying that legal action is imminent and formally demanding he stop making false claims about the company. And I think that's funny because, I'd like to see all of that happen after Trump can't give any more pardons and can't give any more help. It's really where I want that to live.
that guy is just. It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, okay. So, well, local stuff right now is really weird because, you've got that problem of you don't like want to work with the cops. Like, I mean, because they're the fucking cops, like at the same time, you want the local fascists to stop being out in the streets doing shit, especially the insurrectionists who went and we have pictures of literally being in the Capitol. You'd like them dealt with, but what does that mean? So mostly we've just been posting all their shit online, and if they get shit for it, well, I mean, they deserve it. So kind of that. Now, on the more local level, there's been a lot of work on getting the locals to better understand that fascism isn't some national thing that's over there, but it's actually right here. And so that event that we had, that my wife threw and a few others over like a few days ago, it was mostly to get all those locals who, kind of are, I hate this word, but prominent members of society. That word sounds so classist. But to get them all to understand that the fascists aren't down in D.C. at this point. Literally, one of the ones who organized 11 busloads of these people going to D.C. lives 20 minutes walking that way from where you're standing right now. And so getting them to understand that was really important. And at this point, some interesting new stuff is being talked about at City Council about what can be done about it. On the hyper-local level here especially, someone went up and flyered with pictures of the local fascists on all of the telephone poles and light poles and everything else in town, so in our little city of Malden here. And, with ways to report local fascist activity, which I thought was hilarious too. So we're doing a lot of that just to get them to understand that it is actually here in our town. So identifying these people, identifying what they're doing, and getting the local government to also start paying more attention to them is super important. Are you tired? Are you just, are you not there, man? Chat,
No,
chat.
I agree with all that. I mean, I haven't done anything compared to what you've been up to in Malden recently. That was all news to me.
So here's the thing with Chris that people need to understand. He used to be a lot louder, a lot more out there, and I think the pandemic has somehow toned him down because it used to be hard to shut him up, honestly.
Yeah, I found God, I guess. I don't know.
No.
I think I'm mostly loud online, but in person, I'm a very sensitive, sweet young man.
I will say that that does hold true because, like, when we were at any of the local government stuff, you were definitely loud at people online, and then we'd show up, and I'd be the only one to walk up to them to their face and call them a Nazi. So,
I was proud of you for calling that guy. That was a lot of fun. It was
I mean,
satisfying
I
for
didn't
me.
even say the word first. He said the word first. I just helped him understand. Well, remember, he said, "You called me a Nazi online," and I
Oh yeah.
said, "Yeah," and I said, "Yes, I did." And he said, "Well, you shouldn't do that." And I said, "Well, but it's true."
You shouldn't do.
So, like, you
Oh,
know, Merlin, there, Defengo, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that follow button. I love all of the haters. I want you to stick around. Maybe you want to kind of take part in some actual debate instead of just the insult throwing, because we're totally up for it.
Merlin
Let's
DeFango.
go.
That's a really cool name.
Right, it works. It works.
Yeah, like it must be a cool guy typing that stuff. Name like that.
Oh, wow. All right. So tomorrow is Trump's last day. And I don't know. It's just like it feels like the end of 2020. You know what I mean? Like the end of 2020, everyone's sitting there like, "Ah, it's finally over." And I tweeted out an image of someone with 2020 kind of moving off to the side, and 2021 saying, "Hold my beer," like because it's not over at all. And while
No,
it does look really interesting what Biden plans on doing at the very beginning with his rejoining Paris Accords, closing down the Keystone Pipeline, all these other things he plans on doing. For the most part, they look heading in the right direction, but I kind of think that they are well calculated moves that are still mostly centrist in terms of where they really are, and they're meant to get us to, I don't know, calm down on him. All of us lefties who don't actually like Biden.
yeah, I'm sure there's probably some degree of triangulation going on there.
Nice.
And of course, all the hoopla about the $2,000 checks versus the $1,400 checks and all that stuff. That just seems to me to be a weird calculation on the Democrats' part. I don't know, like.
I mean, people really need to start to understand that, yeah, like, if there's levels of evil, there's the Republicans, but then there's the Democrats. Like, they aren't that much better. I say it like this. I say it, they're all politicians. We live in a false dichotomy here. This is a lie if you think either of them are a good choice, but one is a slightly better choice. The Democrats are a slightly better choice, but I only believe slightly, and that's because when they lie to me, I at least like some of their lies. When the Republicans spit out all their lies, I hate everything that they want to do, and every now and then one side gets something through, and a bill actually gets passed. And if that accidentally happens, I only want the side that's lying to me in a way that I kind of am okay with to actually slip stuff through now and then. Like, I'm not happy either way here at this point. But it's just, yeah, exactly. As SP Zone says, our current two sides in America are far right and center right. We don't have a left in power. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what we get out of the guy who drafted the Patriot Act and the crime bill, and a cop.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because he's made these public indications that he wants wants to reach across the aisle. He anticipates there's going to be a Republican, coming to Jesus moment, and that they'll be able to work together. And then he also has, this base that's like fired up and absolutely rip shit about Donald Trump and everything that's been going on for the past 4 years. So he does have to balance that. And, my feeling is that he's probably going to veer toward the center right version of walking that line.
Oh, is it because you've read the votes that he's made his entire career, which are exactly that?
Yes, I've read the Wikipedia page, and
Is
that
it
is the
because
conclusion I reached.
history gives us good evidence that the guy is going to put more people in jail? I don't know.
I reached out to Corn Pop, and he let me know.
Yeah. Is Corn Pop getting one of those pardons?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I want to talk to Merlin more. Why is imagine being that mad and just like looking at two guys eating and talking and just getting madder and madder. That's like the
Tonight
funniest.
we're just having fun, man. This wasn't well planned or thought out. So Merlin, you are here on the right night. You know? Merlin, what do you want us to talk about? I am all about my new subscriber. Whoever donated that sub, you won the game tonight. So, what do you want to talk about, good old Merlin? Somebody made a movie about Merlin, he says. What movie? Come on, let's go. Tell me which. There are a few documentaries about things I've done. A bunch that include me. I think I'm in like 16 or so. There's a couple Emmy award-winning TV shows that have written characters based on my life story. Like, where's yours? Is it? Are you going to be on the Oprah channel? OAM.
I think I found it
Lifestyle?
on IMDb. It's actually called "The Ballad of a Stupid Loser."
Ah, Dark
crazy.
Web Cicada
You're able
3301.
to land that.
Ah, yes. No. See, that's not about you. Good times.
Damn.
Oh boy. So you want to talk about the movie? You know, we'll have you on when it's out, and we will talk all about it. All right, let's go.
So is that like a movie about the cicada puzzles? Is that what that is?
I mean, the cicada puzzles were a complete and total joke. So like,
Right.
I
yeah.
know. Like, I mean,
I don't know. So that's
ugh.
piece of that movie. Okay.
Multiple people got to the end of those puzzles and got into the stupid little forum thing that they were running, and then just kind of it died. It was the dumbest fucking thing.
I haven't heard about that. And when even was that? That'd be over 10 years ago.
I mean, it happened a couple times, but I mean, they were
Oh,
both
did-
stupid, and they both just did basically the same thing and just petered out. So, are we supposed to be watching this thing?
I'll happily watch it.
All right, chat. What do we got here? Huh. Oh, I love the Parlor links to you, Defango there. All the, the site that doesn't exist anymore. Oh. We have 3.5 million Parlor posts now, all geotagged and tagged with the usernames, all from or profiles, and then it's 1.5 million posts, all from the 6th, all around the talk about all that, including the 1.1 million videos broken down to 1,300 that were actually in or on the Capitol grounds. All, again, nicely geotagged. Most of them now attached to usernames. Some of them attached to real names. I think it's like 800 or so of them now are. That data is still being collected and still pretty fun.
How does Merlin feel about that?
As was I, Merlin. But good times, let me tell you. All right, so let's just what are we doing here? Good old Mate. Oh, you know, the thing here is Mate is saying that him and his family are hiding from death threats now. Like, I got sometimes upwards of 3, but it was more on average like 2 death threats a day on Parler. Just being on his platform, and I didn't run and hide. In fact, when they tried to dox me, I actually gave them helpful breadcrumbs. I was like, come on, you guys are so dumb. Everything is, I've been doxed 100 times. Like, there's nothing private about me. So, like, and they couldn't get there. Like, please, for the love of God, how dumb are you people? And yeah, it's just, wow. He's in hiding because he's scared of all these, people who definitely aren't going to do anything to him. Okay, so yeah, this was a fun little side thing there, but yeah, Cicada was a joke at best. And that is about all that really needs to be said about that. I mean, ugh. What else is going on in the world today? I mean, obviously, Julian Assange is trending all over the internet because people are urging Trump to pardon Assange, and we'll see. I don't know that it happens because I don't think there's any monetary value in it for him, and that seems to be what the next batch of these are about. So unless you think Russia wants to pay him a bunch of money for releasing Assange for some reason, which I don't think needs to happen on their part anymore, I just don't see it happening. I mean, if it does, hey, whatever. I mean, my thing with Assange is still this: a lot of us are, unhappy with the last few major moves he made, and kind of unhappy with who he became. And I do think he became very problematic at the end there. Before even, then the years of torture of being stuck in a small room for so long and chased by the U.S. government and all that fun stuff. But, like, even before that, we were all pretty much kind of done with him. But that is irrelevant. That holds no bearing here and has nothing to do with the fact that the pardon is deserved, that the charges should have never existed, that I believe in the journalistic efforts that were done there, and that I believe in the press freedoms that would be hurt by anything being actually done to him in a court of law in the United States of America. So my issues with him are far off to the side and personal and unrelated to he deserves a pardon. And people need to kind of figure that out, because I know a lot of people on the left that are just like, fuck that guy. But you have to think about it in that regard. You have to think about it that, it's not about him. It's about what precedent does this set. If you like him, great, that's you. Fine. Then want the pardon for both reasons. But we should want the pardon for one reason, and just everything dropped and him let go. Whatever, however it works out. I don't want to see him go through the U.S. court system and have any precedents set around this type of a case.
Doing it just to trigger libs or something like that. That's kind of how I see it playing out.
You think he might actually do it just to piss people off?
If he does it, I suspect that's why. I don't think he really has any kind of moral apprehension about, the First Amendment or anything like that. someone was telling me that I guess Bill Barr was adamantly saying that he should not do it, and that he's going to definitely do it. Just that sort of thing, especially now that he's at the tail end of the presidency and having his like final big tantrums here.
All right, so he walks out, just walks out. We believe this, and at this point, and you know why?
It'd be so awesome.
Do you know the only reason I believe it now? That he's actually just going to walk out under his own power and leave, is because we've been watching his family and his close inner circle loot the damn White House for days. Like all those pictures of them like walking out with like that giant bust of Adams or Lincoln and like all these other like they're like I'm sure some of that was theirs.
Like wondering. I've seen
some
those
of
photos.
that I'm sure was theirs, but like some of it also was definitely not. Like the giant painting of Trump, of course, yeah, he can take that one. Yeah, okay, bye. But yeah, as we've seen them walk out with just tons of shit, like, I mean, I don't even want that to be a thing that people bring up as, like, we now need to, like, hit him with and he needs to return. I just want it over with. If that's what it takes for him to leave the damn thing, then just let him walk out with a few parting gifts. Like, just go away. Then,
let him take the iPad, whatever.
Then let all the state's prosecutors go after him for all the various state charges that like in New York and everywhere else.
Yeah, that'll be fun, too. I'm really interested to see what happens on Inauguration Day. I'm sure we all are. Just on fronts. So many open questions.
I am too. It was interesting watching today when they went nuts because of a fire, a dumpster fire at a homeless encampment. Yeah, actual dumpster fire at a homeless encampment happened, and that triggered them to shut down, like, parts of DC again in their perimeter where they've got the checkpoints and everything else. Like, they just went because what's the fire and smoke? Oh no, they are definitely like on guard now, and they were not on the 6th. Where was this when the right wingers were walking through the halls with Confederate flags
and guns?
Yeah, Chris is a dirty rotten addict. So he does vape. He does vape.
Well, I thought that was subtle, but.
Oh god. Yeah. So I don't know, man. This is all kinds of weird. I'm wondering what the grift moves to for so many people whose grift for the last 2 months has been just that Trump is going to win and somehow stay in, and at the last minute it's going to be revealed. Even down to the ones who are literally saying the inauguration is a setup to get all of Biden's people in one place so they can all be arrested at once. Like all of these nut jobs who are making their money off of the bigger nuts, the unbelievable idiots who follow them. They're going to have to change their narrative, right? They're no longer going to be able to say, well, he's still in power. They're not going to be able to pull off anything so smart as, some kind of shadow government, that he's become the deep state. No. So we're gonna be hearing a lot of new grifts, I think. Like I want to almost from like a sociological kind of like a study standpoint, like what is the new grift? Because they do all kind of gravitate in the same direction too. Like when you see one do a thing, the rest of them all do that thing. So I just want to know what the next big grift is.
Yeah, I bet the QAnon stuff doesn't go away.
I don't think all the way, but it's definitely hurting. They're definitely having trouble. And as we like to do on the show, thanks for reminding me, on every show we like to remind our audience that every day is Punch a Nazi Day. So happy Punch a Nazi Day. And also the QAnon whole conspiracy started out as a grift to sell T-shirts by Paul Ferber and Coleman Rogers, who were posting on 4chan before it moved on to all the bigger things that it did on 8chan with Watkins and crew. But we just like to make sure that we say those things on every episode because people need to remember these things.
We have to take care of each other.
Well, no, no, Merlin, you're not a communist. We get that. We get that. I don't know about the terrorist part. You seem to possibly be a Trump supporter, so that's up in the air. Um, but yes, it is Punch a Nazi Day. Oh, Q was yeah, it was I mean, I've said this, Jeremy, on like every episode. Paul Ferber and Coleman Rogers were posting on 4chan some stupid shit that actually got like lots of responses and people going, "What?" And they put up one of those unbelievably dumb website things where you can design shirts and then sell them, and you don't have to make the shirts. You know, one of those print-on-demand shops. And people bought the shirts, so they started pushing it. And then they figured out that they could get some of the stupid right-wing YouTubers with some followers to put it out, and it went like that for a little while. But it caught so much fire that they kind of distanced themselves and were like, "Whoa, we were just selling shirts." And then Watkins and crew all took over the Q thing, and QMAP happened, and the move to the new trip codes on 8kun happened, and that was a whole different group of people running it by that point.
Well, I understood like 50% of those words, man.
No, I was there too with the janitors, Merlin. That is definitely not true. They were there early. Um, Punch a Nazi and Communist Day. Ah, see, no, 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 no. It's just Punch a Nazi Day. But yes, we are having some fun. We have gotten all the stuff out there. Well, now, what's wrong with communism? That is a loaded question because, it is an interesting thing to look at humans just as a species from like a 10,000 foot view of human nature and what we have done to each other for millennia. Um, my only issue with communism is not the basic ideals of it, is not, the general idea that, we could all share and work together on shit. It's the idea that there's enough people that could come together and do that without people like Stalin being born and abusing the system to take over and do horrible things. Like, I don't know that I believe in enough, like, I have enough faith in humanity left to see huge communist communities exist. Smaller ones, yes. And I think there's a great ideology there. My issue with communism is literally just my lack in faith in humanity. Like, not anything else. I mean, and then there's all the, you could talk about everything from, Stalinism to Trotskyism to, pure Marxism to Engels' various views, all the way up to like Maoism to the tankies. Like, there's all the different versions of this. I think, where my head kind of lands is more on the democratic socialist side of things. I really like a lot of the Scandinavian government setups. I like how they treat their people. I like how happy their people are in general. I like the better social contract they really have as a society. Everything is wrong. What was chat saying about this? Oh yeah, definitely. They are not the only potentials. I mean, my one thing with capitalism that's very very simple is I think capitalism and democratic republics are mutually exclusive. I think put together like we have and has happened multiple times in the past, going back thousands of years with the Greeks even. A democratic republic and capitalism, the free market basically, always ends in massive oligarchy and the people having to rise up against their oppressors. Like, it hasn't ever ended any other way. At this point, the people in power have a lot more power than they've ever had because, like, the just power of guns and nukes and everything else. But, like, I don't know. I think they kind of do not work well together. Yes, I'm sure you have, Merlin. You have really livened up the chat though, so I'm glad you stopped by. I don't know where are you with that, Chris? I mean, what do you think about all this fun government stuff?
You mean like communism versus?
Communism, socialism, capitalism, republics, democracy, like whatever. Like my
Yeah,
perfect world is a proper democratic, socialist, progressive society. That's
I
me
think.
personally.
I think I'm a socialist. I understand why some people who are communists are maybe skeptical of democratic socialism, but I am a little worried about something like another Stalin or situation coming up under communism. Uh, yeah, capitalism is just no sustainable. Um,
I mean, Merlin, you are entirely wrong on what I have or have not experienced. You have literally no idea where I lived and when. But I've definitely been in places where communism had literally just fallen right afterward and spent a year and a half living there during the downfall of a communist country. So, no, you don't know a thing. But that's cool that you think you do. Yeah.
Merlin has had a very interesting life.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of stuff going on for this
Been all
guy.
over the place. And he's in every channel chatting with everyone.
Yeah.
But I don't doubt that because I actually do know like a lot of people who are literally in every goddamn channel on every one of these servers related to everything Chan and all the other kind of counter stuff. So it's highly possible that that person is actually in everything. Ugh. I agree, Dr. Abinway. I just think that, proper democratic socialism is the twist that actually, and I realize they're not that far different, but it's just enough, just a itty bit, that I think it can work. Again, I mean, just looking at some of the countries who have pulled it off for long periods of time and looking at the happiness index of their people and how, well those governments seem to be functioning. Wow. So, So, chat. Beyond all this Merlin fun, now that he's, our biggest subscriber and gonna be here every time, hanging out with us. What else? What else? Yeah, UBI is definitely interesting. I'm a big fan of UBI. I'm a big fan of Medicare for all. Proper single payer healthcare. Yeah, because all of the alternatives to single-payer healthcare are literally just to make the people who own insurance companies rich. That's the only thing the other alternatives exist for. Look at you, just doing your thing. Consider what if we just didn't have government. Well, I'm not entirely sure that the purest forms of anarchism actually work out because, again, my lack of faith in human nature. If someone could maybe raise that up a little, I might be willing to have a longer conversation about that. But for now, I don't think humanity has it in them to really pull that off without it ending in massive bloodshed. Deep cut local MA story? Man, I mean, my problem here is that I'm friends with so many people in local politics that most of the deep cut stories that haven't been talked about are things that I'm not supposed to talk about. So, like, I keep skipping over, like, no. I mean, one of my favorite pieces of, Massachusetts politics here is that one of our best and most active progressive members of our local House of Representatives here in Boston for Massachusetts is Mike Conley, and we all know him as No Money Mike is what we used to call him, and he was an occupier. He was at Occupy Boston. That's where we all met him, and he went on from that to run for various local offices and ended up as a state rep He's one of 8 now that I know about across the country that started out at Occupy and ended up as state-level officials in some capacity trying to move the local governments progressive. And he's got some really interesting platform points. He puts a lot of really good bills forward. And one of my favorite things he does is, he's really good at taking other people's bills and moving them to the left a little and getting them to still be cool with the edits to the bills. Which has always been something that we needed in government, because a lot of it's just placeholder text. And, he gets in there and edits those things and makes them a lot better for the people without losing support for them. I am no simp for the government. I just think we have one, and if we're going to continue to have one, which we don't have, any choice in the matter right now, that I would, prefer my friends be the ones in government.
You've always had such big simp energy, man.
Right? I know. I've always been that follower.
Calling you out.
I've always been that follower. Media literacy. I mean, again, this goes back to some of my faith in humanity. I think most people, maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just the sheer volume of people who currently, thanks to the way the internet has been built and phones have been made, that now have, built-in deep-seated ADHD, can no longer, focus enough to actually read more than the headlines. Like, it's going to be tough for us to get back to a point where headlines don't hold the day when it comes to the news. And yes, the media can't read. It's always interesting when I do work with the media, the questions they ask. This guy, I met this guy when he reached out to me to ask me questions. I mean, literally, this guy I met trying to get information out of me.
That's for Occupy, right?
Yeah. He was writing an article for a local patch.com before they decided that they didn't need employees or anything,
Very Web 2.0 to have employees.
Oh, yeah, seriously. We need better headlines. We do, and luckily the bots will be writing those all for us in the future. So, we don't have to worry about humans being involved in the news anymore soon. I don't know what I just stepped on. Oh, look at that. Some of the tape from the green screen. Good times. See, I have a better green screen than Zoom's built-in thing.
Oh, you got an actual green screen there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why you get the green. Look at the green.
I don't see it.
It's just barely as like an aura around the.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's just did you ever see the old '80s movies? The Last Dragon. And you've got Leroy and he's got the glowing hands. Mine are green.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a good movie. We should watch that one on movie night too. I love that movie. So what else? What do you want to talk about? You haven't just said this is my jam and said here's what we're talking about. Tonight's more of a conversation, really.
Oh, I kind of lost audio there for a little bit, but...
Does chat believe that? Does chat believe any of that? Can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you now.
I said, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, okay.
Because you haven't brought up any subjects. I've been leading this thing, and I'm used to you being really talkative. I mean, the pandemic has you, man. Like, you have changed during this.
Oh, man. It's just like, what's going on now, right? It's like the pandemic and it's Trump. That's it. There's nothing else cool going on. Cyber 87. That's pretty funny. That's a big fuck up.
You're just done. You're just done.
I'm all taked out,
Well, Chad, this is actually an interesting kind of, view here. Because Chris, for the longest time, was a guy I could turn to just make me laugh whenever I reached out to him. Anytime I talked to the guy, he had shit to say and definite opinions, especially online when he didn't have to do it in person. And and this is a
That's the
different human
trick.
being.
Yeah.
The pandemic has taken some edge off of this man.
It's crushed my spirits.
Come on, what do we got to
Snooze
do
my
to get
ass.
you back on top of your game?
Uh, you want to do some crimes or something on the stream? I'm down for that. We can go, break some laws, make some uh, vulgar prank calls.
I've done a very good job, I think, of not getting banned from Twitch, and I'm gonna try and hold on to that. So
All
the
right, I
chat
mean, that's your
the
strategy.
chat has asked what your best troll has ever been.
My best troll.
You.
Ah. It's hard to pick favorites. But recently, that time I got that, what was it, Portland sheriff or something like that? I just sent him like an obnoxious email, and the guy had a complete meltdown. And
That's right, and then he showed your email in the press conference. Who was that?
he's some like media wannabe sheriff out in the Northwest who's like kind of branded himself as some Antifa warrior type. And I don't know. I forget why I even did it, but he was just kind of going off about Antifa in public at some point. I found his email. It's just, it's like a public email. He's like the sheriff of some county out there. And I just sent him an email, and I was like, hey, sheriff, I have really important information about Antifa that I need to get to you right away or whatever. And just trying to get him to open the email and read it. And then, like, my important piece of intelligence was like, they rock.
Yeah. And then he printed it out like all big, and in his press conference the next day, he had it on a stand beside him to point out to the press that that's what he's dealing with.
Yeah, he was like, oh, thanks for giving me like ammo for tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, please use it.
Yeah, let's go. As for
Like, that's really gonna upset me.
my favorite song from the Cats the Musical, it's the one that plays during the credits, because that means it's over. So whatever that song is my favorite song.
Oh, for me, my favorite Cats musical is neither one of them.
Oh, I was thinking of the movie. The musical itself. Yeah, never seen the musical. I am not much of the musical type. I don't think I have ever gone to one. Ever? Have I? No, none that I can think of. My favorite talking animal. Well, that comes down to, what do you consider animal? Because my favorite talking animal, if we're talking, on like screen and whatnot, is Animal. The Muppet. So Chris's favorite Halloween costume.
Huh. Like that I wore, or just
Sure, let's go.
do you remember like? Oh, this was a while ago now, but when McCain and Obama were running each other, and it was kind of close to the election, and it came out, this woman said that she was at an ATM. She was like a McCain supporter and had been attacked by these crazy Obama supporters who drew a B on her cheek with lipstick. And then people pointed out, like, wow, it looks like you drew a B on your face in a mirror, because no one would draw a B like that in real life. I went as her.
Nice, nice.
Great costume.
My favorite costume I ever wore was actually kind of funny, because I went to a house party in it. I still have the habit and everything. I went as a pregnant nun. And so I had the big the big fake pregnancy belly, and then I had the full habit, the full nun outfit, and there was someone at the party actually dressed as a really good Satan. This was a really good Satan, and at the party, I don't drink, I don't do any drugs, anything else. And there was a lot of drinking going on because, Halloween party, people are getting drunk. And they needed an alcohol run. And, I'm the most sober person in the place, so I'll go do it, right? So me and Satan walk out the door, and I'm wearing, my pregnant nun, and he's Satan. And we get to a crosswalk. And we get halfway across this crosswalk, and a car slams on the brakes. And a guy coming from the other side of the crosswalk, because this is Halloween, everyone's in costumes. This was in Davis Square, and it's an area, in outside of Boston here. Is dressed as Jesus, and he's got the full real flowing hair though, like it's his hair. And the car screeches to a stop right as he's walking past us. And I put out my hand and stopped him. And I looked at him, and I looked at Satan, and I looked at the driver. And the driver stuck his head out the car. And I said, "How many points is this worth if you had not put on the brakes?" And I don't know. That was my favorite, costume and kind of thing that happened.
That's a good one.
Times.
Yeah,
it was good
that's
times.
A real good one.
It was good times. And at that same party, we got to kick someone out for showing up in blackface. So, because don't do that.
Jeez,
what's wrong with you people?
When was that?
I mean, this was '05. So, far off in the horrible past. No. It was
Yeah,
no.
I'm sure they've learned their lesson.
No, I don't think so. I think that same person voted for Trump both times. So, good times. I'm liking this though. What kind of other questions does chat have for Chris here? Let's really dive in.
Yeah. Tear me open, guys.
Oh boy. Well now. No, seriously though. I don't know. I want to have more to talk about, but it's all so up in the air for the next few days. What's gonna happen if he's going to pardon 100 people and who they're going to be? Is the inauguration going to go well? Just so many questions without answers yet that, it's hard to talk about those topics right now.
It'll be a pretty awesome series finale, I think.
Series finale. Don't,
The spin-off is going to be great.
Where does he go from here?
Trump?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I don't see him going away.
You don't think he just does what he said and walks off into the night and, you'll never see me again?
It seems... I mean, he might take a break or something, but I feel like he can't... Well, actually... Now that he doesn't have Twitter, I feel like that might actually hinder him a little bit. I feel like if he was on Twitter, busting Biden's balls every 3 seconds, but now he doesn't really have that kind of, direct line into his id.
Right. My issue with it is I don't believe it because he said it. So,
Yeah, that's also a good point.
So the chat is asking you a question.
Oh.
What's up with Soy Boy?
Oh, thank you for digging into my writings. The origin of Soy Boy. Well, I mean, if you read the article, you must know.
Oh, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I actually can't even remember what the hell it was. I think it just emerged somewhere. Obviously.
So have you made it? Have you made it through the pandemic without actually getting sick? Are you one of the lucky ones?
Yeah, no, I haven't. At least as far as I know. Did you end up getting it?
I was sick. Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's why there's a lot wrong, but I'm dealing with it. Yeah.
You mean with COVID or something else?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had everything, and afterward I've got a lot of after effects. You see me yawning. I've been yawning since about 1:00 today. It's an oxygen intake problem. So there's 100 little things, but I'm learning. It's okay. I seem to still be able to survive. So whatever.
That's good. Yeah. How long ago did you get tested positive for it?
Early, March.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was part of that wonderful first Malden wave, I think.
Oh, wow.
Knowing your thoughts on Alexei Navalny. You know, my thoughts on Alexei Navalny are this. That man is not only a hero to his people and has balls of fucking steel, but he leaves the country basically in a coma, gets fixed up in Berlin, and then decides to go back. And I don't know if any of you have seen the pictures of him on the plane on the way back to Moscow, but these are possibly the last few hours of this man's life, because he's getting arrested the second he gets off the plane, and he did. And if you look at some of the pictures of him sitting on the plane, look at the computer that's in his lap. He's watching Rick and Morty with his last 3 hours of life. Like, he streamed all of Rick and Morty on that flight back. Like, I gotta say, that's at that point, that I probably would have done the same thing. Like, what else are you gonna do? But I liked that was his thing. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do at this point? Going back was weird. He was in Berlin. Multiple countries were reaching out offering asylum and protection, and he goes back to Moscow. Wow. That's balls. I don't know what else to call that. That's just like, holy crap, man. Would you have that in you?
Fuck no.
I'm taking asylum in Mexico. Come on, let's go. Like, wow. I don't know, man. We'll see. Right now, he's still alive, of course, but he's in custody. We will see what they are going to do. I know it's a joke, but I do find it funny that he, on the flight back, before knowing he was about to get arrested, he spent his time watching Rick and Morty. That's funny. A great show.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
Chat!
Yeah, how pissed you get.
Chat! Do you see what I'm dealing with here? You even look kind of like Dan, like the creator.
Oh, really?
Like a little with the beard,
Okay. All right. People seem to like him. I guess that's funny.
Some do. I mean, I liked Community. That was a good show.
Oh, is that the same guy? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I like Community. That was a good show. But I mean, Glover, like in anything, seems to be good.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, Community was fantastic. I'm not normally a fan of the sitcom genre. Like, there's not much in that space that I like, but Community was good. Yes, Atlanta was awesome too. So, we have just been rambling for a while. Like I stated, my biggest issue is there's so much up in the air that it's hard to have strong opinions on what's about to happen in the next couple days because we don't know. I would say, something interesting here in Boston that you might not have heard yet. But there's, there was a protest today, organizing against fascists. There's more coming up over the next few days. Wednesday, there's a big one downtown starting at the Parkman Bandstand. And BLM, Black Lives Matter of Boston, put out a statement today telling their people to stay home. To just avoid this, to not be involved. Just to not be there for the fascists to do anything to. That was their response. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure. I don't know that I'm supposed to have an opinion either way on that either. I think it's interesting that that's where we are, that they've decided to say that you guys go do you, but all of our people shouldn't be there.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why this one and not other protests,
Yeah, it's a strange one. Yeah, definitely. I mean, so obviously the laptop that was stolen, my big issue with that laptop that was stolen is I've done enough work in IT to know that like when you have a stupid laptop sitting in a conference room that is not like actually at someone's real desk where they work, that one sitting in the conference room very rarely has anything on it of any value. So, like, they took the conference room laptop that was used for the projector. So, I'm guessing at worst, it has, like, a downloads folder where they were downloading, like PowerPoint slides to put up on the projector. And maybe there's a little information in some of those if they weren't, like, keeping that folder too clean. But I gotta say, I think that's at worst. So, I don't know how much value there is in that stolen laptop. Like, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the laptop sitting in the conference room that just handles the projector, but it's usually pretty empty and pretty old. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, took a laptop from Pelosi's area of the building and then tried to get it to the Russians. It doesn't really matter what's on it in terms of how she's gonna get dealt with, but I'm just saying if the Russians did get their hands on it, I don't think they'd get much. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so like I was never too scared about that laptop having anything special on it. What is the scariest nightmare Chris still remembers?
These questions.
Look at this. I like this one.
Scariest one I still remember. I still have a recurring dream that I'm like in college and like have a final exam in a class I just never went to. Um, it's not very exciting, but I wish I had cooler dreams. I
You
don't.
are letting me down.
Person.
You
Very
are,
poor person.
you know, I love you, man, but that is not a scary dream.
It's not
That's
scary.
more an awkward dream. That's more an anxiety dream.
Yeah, you're right. You're
You
right.
know? I've mentioned this. I don't know if chat remembers it much, but I pretty much only have really, really bad night terrors and like really bad dreams.
Oh.
So like I'm not gonna talk about those on stream because again, most of what I might say is stuff that might end up actually like getting me deplatformed from Twitch or something. But it's pretty bad. It's from what we can tell, it comes from some of the brain damage I took when I was really young and had scarlet fever that got up really high. And stayed there for a while. I reached 107 before they had to bring me back and everything. Because you die when you get up that high, and then they defibrillate you. But so I had I had scarlet fever twice. A lot of people don't get it to that level, but turns out I do. So like I hope I don't ever get it again. It's not fun. It's mostly a childhood disease, so I shouldn't. But like we'll see. So yeah, so that's just it's one of those things. Yeah, I don't get triggered by it or anything, Dr. Abinway. I just it's been so long that it's just kind of part of me, so like I can talk about it without like feeling like bad about it. It's how it is. I mean, my solution for it has been for the longest time. This started when I was this solution started when I was 7, but I go to sleep listening to audiobooks. They help me really focus on something, so I'm not thinking about what's about to happen before I fall, and then I fall asleep. It's the thing. So I have listened to thousands upon thousands of audiobooks. So half of the time I sound like I know anything at all. It's because of the like hour and a half I get every night just listening to part of an audiobook. Because I've gone through everything the Learning Company and the Great Courses series have ever put out. So I get to do a lot of studying, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting. When I don't have it, like I've been out of town or something, and my phone has like not had enough charge to start, and I have to plug it in and whatnot. I just lay there waiting. Like if I can't start the book till 4, I'm not going to sleep till 4. you know? Yeah.
Huh.
It works. Solutions. Nice. They found out what videos the AV guy likes to watch. Oh boy. I really hope there wasn't a web history on that. Good times. Yeah, yeah. You just kind of keep half disappearing, half coming back. I'm loving it.
That's right. Yeah, it's all the mystique. Brand.
So we have reached past the hour point here. We are, on Wednesday, we're having Mike Crawford, on from the Young Jerks. So we're.
Oh, tell him I say hi.
Well, I wanted to have another strong politics guy on after tomorrow and the next day, right? So we're gonna have a local guy who runs his own podcast called The Young Jerks, a play on, of course, the Turks. Sank be damned. But yeah, and we're gonna talk all about the inauguration, about what happened or is still happening during that point, all the fun stuff. It'll be really interesting. Before we call it a night, does Chad have anything else we should be talking about?
I think Trump and Alex Jones co-hosting a show is absolutely a solid.
I think it's possible. I don't want that to be a good prediction, but I don't think it's. Wow, yeah.
Take no pleasure in reading it.
No. What a world. Why do we live in this world?
That's kind of fun sometimes. Oh.
Absolutely, we can. Definitely. Yeah, if anyone has any other ideas for things we should do to the Discord, I mean, I think it's basically functional at this point, but, by all means. And if anyone wants this guy in the Discord, just yell at him on Twitter till he does it. I
do respond to yelling.
So. He does. He, I mean, you can bully him like nothing. Like, he came on the show with 3 hours notice. So, I
was very angry.
No, have I ever been? I think the last time I got kind of angry was the last time Tiny tried to punch me in the fucking head at a protest when Patriots Front and Patriots Prayer and Proud Boys were all up against us leftists. I was a bit mad that he laid it on my shoulder, which is fine because he hit the guy beside me first. It was one of those glancing blows where it hits this guy and then hits you because he just kept swinging through because he's huge. But I was kind of angry about the fact that there were 20 cops behind him watching him just open up on all these people that were half his size and just standing there. And when someone said something beside me, yelled at one of the cops, "Hey, what are you going to do?" Their response was, "Oh, we're just here to watch." The cop said that. Now, I don't want the cops attacking us any more than I want them attacking anyone else. But what I do want is if we are going to get attacked every goddamn time by them, fair play. I mean, at least treat us both at the same level, whether it's good or bad. I'm just saying, I know they're not going to because they agree with these people. They are mostly made up of those people. But, yeah, that day was crazy, man.
I believe it. Yeah, all those videos that came out from the appeal in the past month with all that stuff. Just not surprising, but also unbelievable.
Yeah, everyone drop your stuff in the Discord there so we can all make sure we're all following each other. For anyone out there looking to get verified, I think Chris might be the first other verified person we've ever had on. No, we had Awkward on. He's verified. But Twitter, funny enough, is actually reopening their verified thing. But the way that you get in is they ask, and then you have to provide 5 sources of media coverage of you specifically. It can't be media coverage that cited you, but it has to be media coverage of you. And you get to choose the 5 that get submitted, and then they review them, I think is how it's worded. It's a little amorphous yet because they haven't launched it, but that's what we understand is coming.
Wow.
So there's a few other people who are going to end up verified again after so long of them not doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I just got it through work. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't. And by the way, verified doesn't mean anything. It used to actually give you more cool shit. they used to have an app for verified users that wasn't the same app that the regular users used, and we had all kinds of extra features, but slowly they just built those into the normal one. And I never used it anyways. I'd load it up and then I'd look at it and feel like elitist in some way, like this is
Absolutely.
wrong, and then I'd go back to the regular app because I was like, there's something wrong about this. This is classist, you know? And so I would close it out. It was called Twitter Engage. And it was
Oh yeah, yeah.
You remember that? The
Yeah.
Boston Common people probably were using it too. Like a few other people were too.
The only benefit of it is I know that, other blue check people, if you're a blue check, they can filter by that. And I feel like if you're being mean to some media jackass, there's a heightened problem.
Yeah. If another check mark has notifications turned off, but they don't have you muted or blocked, then they will still get a notification if a check mark pings them. So I can ping like all kinds of people and they see it. Like they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So the best thing I've ever done, and I still have the script, I haven't used it in a little bit. I was waiting until after Biden was in and they have control. But as soon as they have control of all three, the Democrats that is, I have a script that will take my account because it's verified. It doesn't have all the spam checks that all the other accounts have. And it hits up the open secrets and open data set that has all of the sitting representatives and sitting senators' Twitter accounts. And it downloads them all and then sends my one message to every one of them at once as a @ and then my message. So I can literally, and I can pass it options. I can say only the Republicans or only the Democrats or only the non-affiliated, meaning like the one independent, or I can say only the House or only the Senate or only the Senate Democrats, and then it'll filter for only those and send it to them. And so I can just spam the hell out of them, and unless they block me, they get notified on all their devices because I've got that check mark, and it's fucking hilarious.
And you think the blue check is enough to get you, I don't know, not hit for spam or anything like that?
I once used it for an entire day and sent out 28,000 messages that I deleted at the end of the day using a mass deleter where I selected today's stuff. And it didn't slow me down or stop me at all. I just kept pounding them about 500 at a time, just bam, bam, bam. Fuck all you, just. And,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I got responses to it too. About halfway through, I got like 10 different representatives, like sitting reps, to like respond, retweet, and say shit. Like it was. I got followed by like 6 sitting senators just because of that. It was. I thought they were all gonna block or mute me or something. Instead, they started interacting. It was the craziest thing.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's like the only value of like having like that check mark is you can spam the other check marks. Twitter, I don't abuse anything. If you took that power away from me, I wouldn't use it. Until you do, I'm going to use it because you've given it to me. Don't take the check away. Just block the spamming.
Oh, yeah. Hold on to that.
The easiest way to lose your check mark is to change your username.
Yeah.
They don't like it when you do that. Unlike on Parler, where you can change your username to, like Jim Watkins, with a verified account, and then do whatever you want, and then change it back to something else, and then the news all covers that Watkins or Ron Watkins, said something, when they did not. I mean, it's funny.
Oh, really?
It's funny,
no.
But that's a thing you can do. Well, you could do. Now there's no Parler.
Yeah. It's a shame.
If you go to Parler.com right now, you will see the note from John telling you that they are bringing it back. No other real news, just that's happening. So we're still, waiting to see what the real plan there is. The domain itself is now over at epic.com, epik.com, which is Rob Monster's setup. And we guessed right here, chat. As I said on day one when Parler looked like it was going down, they'll move to Epic. Well, guess where they've gone? Exactly where we thought they would. To the Nazis hosting service. So, yay on them. What the hell, dude? Yeah, from Russia with hate speech, exactly. Oh my god. So, I think that's it for tonight, unless anyone has anything else they want us to cover. I mean, I know we're almost an hour and a half in, so it's weird to say this was a short night, but like, we've been having some monster 4-hour nights with Kurt and whatnot, because, Because, yeah, we just can't stop there. Yeah, this was fun. A little more personal, a little more interactive. We definitely will do that with Kurt and John and a few others. But yeah, we're calling it unless you got anything else you want to say before we're done here. What do you got for us? One last big thing. Do you see this, chat? Do you see what I'm dealing with on the local level here?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I love this guy. He is great. So we are actually gonna have him back though, but next time I'm gonna make sure that he has, I don't know, done something that helps. Yeah, see him laughing. He knows what I mean. You do too. Chat's over there for me. Yeah. Anyways, everyone, this was fun. Good night, all of you. Here we go to the end.